I have a question for you, friend. Could it be that you're sleepwalking through retirement and thinking, wow, is that all there is to this? Or are you paying attention? Let's talk about it. Because you know what? We're here, damn it. I had a brother in law who had a sense of entitlement about his own retirement, and he felt betrayed by the system, by his body, and he eventually died enormously overweight as a type 2 diabetic. He didn't take care of himself. He didn't recognize the grand opportunity that he had in front of himself. And that's what I mean by sleepwalking. He just kind of said, okay, I can't work anymore. I'm retired. I have a Social Security check. I have a pension check. I'm going to sit here in my big recliner and watch TV. And he did that until he died just a few years later. And in my mind, my brother in law gave up on his life. And that's what I mean about sleepwalking through life. We have all these grand opportunities in front of us to find out what might be more interesting to us now, what's available to us now. And I'm not talking about traveling or fashion tips. I'm talking about all the opportunities to find out what you don't even know about yourself yet. There's a lot to discover, and I know that firsthand because of what I went through 2 years ago when I lost everything. And I had to find out for myself how to completely rebuild my life. But you know, I couldn't rebuild my life until I rewired my own thinking. I had to change how I thought about everything in order to accomplish what I have now, to live the life that I'm so thoroughly enjoying right now. And then that reminds me of another funny special moment that happened completely opposite of what happened to my brother in law. Painting to a very, very special subscriber of mine. And I was delighted to do it. And we were having such a great time. It was a beautiful day. But the return trip wasn't as much fun, although it ultimately was. We're coming home, and I tell him, hey, let me treat you to some Kentucky Fried Chicken. I told you I'd buy you dinner for taking me. At least I could buy you some fried chicken. So we pull over to the local fried chicken. Now, my friend is a very generous person, but he is not someone who keeps up with his cars. He doesn't like cars. He only has to use them. He doesn't want to maintain them. His passenger seat, his driver's seat window would not roll down when it came time to pay for the chicken in the drive-through. And I'm looking at him going, you see that black cloud up there? We're getting ready to get a downpour. Do something about paying for that chicken, because I'd given him my charge card to pay for that chicken. So he reaches all the way back. He's a big guy, 6'3", 200 something pounds, pushes all the way back to try to reach into the passenger's window to hand the charge card to the young lady in the drive-through window. He drops my card, and here comes the monsoon of rain. All of a sudden, it is pouring like cats and dogs. You can barely see in front of your face. I leap out of the car, run around to go find my charge card first, turn around and look, and there's a long line of cars behind us. And I just kind of stand there thinking, well, he just drove off. What am I going to do now? So I went to the drive-through window and stood there and handed the girl the charge card. And she asked me, ma'am, are you okay? Are you being kidnapped or something? And I just told her no. I just dropped the card. I had to get it. So I pay for the chicken, jump back in the car, hand him his chicken sandwich, open my little box with a biscuit and a chicken leg or two. And I just looked at him and I said, well, at least our knees are not complaining, you know? And we just started chuckling. He said, Monica, you look like a granny who just came down out of the mountains after 3 winters of never seeing anybody, because I was drenched from head to toe. And what else could we do with that but laugh? There's nothing else you could do. And I'm just so grateful to have friends in retirement who understand the beauty of having a good laugh. And let me tell you, we had an hour's worth of drive ahead of us, and we laughed the whole way. Literally everything became funny and amusing to us. Now, what's the difference between my brother-in-law and the way he chose to handle retirement and that story that I just told you about my friend and I delivering the painting in the rain and Kentucky Fried Chicken? The difference is we are embracing life. We're curious about our life. We still ask questions. Just today, that friend of mine and I sat down and we talked about uh, building a aquaponic planting. I think I'm saying it right, in our apartments. He happens to own the building I live in, and he's going to test it out before I do it because we both want to grow food. Now, that's not unusual, but the way we're going to do it is a little unusual. But that's the curiosity part, to be curious about your own life. My brother in law never got curious. He just got angrier and angrier, and he was not interested in his own life. He had no idea of what else he could have accomplished with life because he retired at 62 and died as a very young man, as far as I'm concerned, just a few years later. So it's all really a matter of choice. But it's also, I have found from my own experience, how you rewire how you think about what you want to do with yourself and what do you want to do to discover who you are. You are kind of different than you were when you were a working woman or when you were working as a teacher, working as a nurse, working as a lawyer. It doesn't matter what your job was. But also, when you were doing that job, you had obligations to raise the family, to take care of the spouse, so on and so forth. And then on top of that, you outsourced your own personal authority to people like other doctors or other lawyers or other people who had the knowledge, but you didn't really trust yourself to have the knowledge. And now here you are in retirement with lots of time on your hands. So how about you think about different ways to look at who you are and discover more about yourself? That's what I want to invite you to do, and join me on Substack. I'll put the link in the bio or in the description below, because we talk about this, me and about 5,000 other women every day. We talk about different ways to reinvent, reimagine, and rewire how we think about retirement. Because remember, we don't retire, we rewire. Later, Gator.